Hey, it's winter time and it is getting colder. I need solutions for staying warm. Now, I did weld up a giant stainless wood stove, which was kind of my first welding project. I learned a lot and I'm very happy with it. However, I'm trying to build a fossil fuel free boat, and big smokestack up the middle kind of sends the wrong message. Now, I get that on a technical level, wood is technically fossil fuel free and it's technically carbon neutral. But like, that's a technicality, honestly. What I'd really like is something that was cheap, easy, electric, and efficient. Those things usually don't go hand in hand. I'm gonna try and make them go hand in hand today. Okay, this is how I'm going to achieve it. Now, this is a Marine Air Systems, it's a company that no longer exists. This thing is ancient, and I got it for like 50 bucks or something, I can't remember. Very much not a lot of money. I spent like 2 years basically holding on to this. I've been trying my darndest to get it running the way it was designed to run, with a control panel which is missing, and getting the fan working, which it's not working right now. Can't find any parts for it anymore. Stuff is discontinued. It runs on R22 refrigerant, which you can't even get anymore and can't get serviced anymore. I can't really update it to newer refrigerant without changing the compressor, which is the main cost involved. So why am I getting involved with this thing? Well, it's cheap and it still works, and it's a lot more efficient than just pure electric heat. So for the time being, let's have some fun. Now, I've jimmy rigged up the power to an extension cord. Here is said extension cord. Plug it right in here. And as you can see, she fires right up. What happens is the compression side happens on this coil here, which gets this nice and warm, and the decompression happens over here on this radiator, which gets quite cold. So the three-way switch does not work. I cannot change the direction of this coolant, and I also have no control, so I can't really turn it off. It just turns on, and then once you unplug it, it turns off. That's it. It's just basically an always-on air conditioner. So everything else I'm gonna have to do myself without a control panel, because I can't get that either.
Feels wrong, even when I know it's not. When I'm in my head, it's taking all my time. So long, I don't know the road I'm on. Where it's taking me, where I'd rather be.
All right, we made a bit of a mess, but I cleared out most of the fins here. The aluminum fins are mostly out of the way, so we've got some bare copper pipes. That's the refrigerant going through there. And now we need to transmit that cool energy to these copper pipes, which will transmit the salt water. So this is a copper coil used in the HVAC industry. It is a soft annealed copper, not hardened, so that you're able to bend it and roll it out. The problem with it is that it will easily collapse. So if you bend it with nothing inside, it'll often pinch and restrict water flow, and we want the water flow to be nice, smooth, and uniform. So we're gonna get some water into these pipes, we're gonna crimp them off, seal them up, and then we're gonna bend them into shape.
When I'm in my head, it's taking all my time. So long, I don't know the road I'm on. Where it's taking me, where I'd rather be instead.
Okay, it is cold as hell. I really need this heater coil to work. This water pinching method, I've now done it 3 separate times with different compounds in there, pinching it in. None of it's working. Water is just not working for me. I understand it works for some other people. I was at the hardware store. I picked up some bits that I was going to solder on here and actually make a full mechanical seal. And then while I was there, my coworker from the supermarket said, why don't you just use sand? And a bag of sand was a lot cheaper than all this extra hardware I was going to have to use and then probably destroy. So we're going to drain out the water, we're going to use the sand method, and hopefully my pipes won't collapse. Well, I gotten closer this time. I used blowtorch, sand, crimp off the ends. Still, it's kinking like crazy, so that doesn't work at all. So I'm gonna throw that out and start over again, find another solution. All right, so the sand wasn't getting all the way down the tube because the tube I want to bend is too long. The water was leaking out. Now there's another method you can do where you fill it with water and then freeze it, and then that helps a lot. Or I could have gone and got some finer sand. I got playground quality sand and that was far too coarse. Or I can call around and ask my co-workers here at the shipyard, and one of them had this. Now, this is a pipe bender made exactly for that diameter of pipe. This is the specialized tool that an HVAC specialist might use. I can't believe that she had this. Basically, she had this because when she had the HVAC specialist come to her house and install a system at her place, they left this behind. She called them. They just had another one. They didn't want to trouble with coming all the way back out here to the island. And so now she has this. And, well, now I have it, and I get to go finish doing the bending of all these copper tubes. Okay, so we've got a couple of doors for the aft cabins. Working on my kind of quilted pattern to clean it up and make it look a little nicer, make it hold together a little nicer. Got 2 layers of army wool blanket in there, and some magnets to hold it in place, so we'll go install those in a second. But right now I'm working on Honey's new jacket. Now recently Honey ran away on me, and I spent 48 hours not sleeping, driving around, trying to find her. She'd run off with her jacket, spent 2 nights out here in the Canadian winter, and lost her jacket. So she tore it off somehow, and that was the last one. These jackets are kind of expensive. You know, when they're on sale, I get them for like 40 bucks, but they're usually like 60. And she has like 6 of them. So I made a new one. This is version 1 of Simon's Attempt because I'm sick and tired of buying these things. And let's see, this one is not long enough at the back and too loose here at the collar. You see, it's got to cinch that in a bit. So we're gonna go and mark that up, and I'll make version 2. And you're gonna stay on leash forever and ever. Amen. Amen. Okay, well, I have the heat pump installed. I have it all plumbed in. I have the new heat coil on the wood stove plumbed in, and in our low power situation right now, especially since we don't have an inverter, that's what's actually heating the boat. So the wood stove has been heating this room upstairs, no problem. But the rooms down below don't get the same airflow, so it's much cooler down there. But that is about to change. All right, welcome to my bedroom. I haven't cleaned up in here in a while, but I have these little tiny water radiators. Now, these are auxiliary heaters. I bought them at Princess Auto. I have one in every single berth and one in the workshop as well. So the idea is that I can basically control where I siphon the heat away. There's a passive amount of heat that's just radiating off those radiators. But then as I want to, if I'm in this room and I want to warm it up more, I just flip that switch and on comes the fan and the hot air flows right off of that. So the nice bit about that is that I get to pump the heat away during the day as I get extra power, and it gets sucked up into the water and uses it like a thermal mass, and then later on in the evening I can pump that heat away from the water and kind of stretch the power and the heat further into the evening, which is a big deal right around now because it does get cold at night here. You're 7 of 9, by the way. And Champ, looking real cute. As well as these thermal curtains that I've set up, I've also got the doors with actual doorknobs now. So the seal is incredibly tight. So this bedroom now is sealed off with the door, and because it's such a small space and because it's so well insulated, that body heat alone will keep this space at a tolerable temperature. And if I have my laptop in here and I'm like watching movies, just the passive cooling off the laptop will literally warm this space to the point where I don't even need to be having blankets over me, and I'm just very comfortable. So this heater certainly adds to that comfort level. I've got a heated blanket under the sheets, but that was always one of my first goals, was making the space comfortable, and it is comfortable now, let me tell you. This is one hell of an upgrade, guys. It's nice that even though my bedroom is warm, now my guest bedrooms are warm, and so is my workshop. That is a huge deal to me. All right, guys, turns out the best way to stay warm is to come to your sister's place and spend Christmas hanging out with her dog Chomsky here. Before I get to the sponsor, I just want to talk about a couple of things that I didn't really address as I'm editing this video. The coil on the saltwater side of the cooling unit, I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but I only have a generator to test on right now, and I don't want to run that for like 8 hours at a time. So until I get the inverter, I'll do some more tests, and then I will do some more modifications. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Sealing the bedrooms and the workshop up has done amazing for warming up the space, and of course now we have those dump loads that are warming up the space as well. So it's just a real game changer. That bedroom is just warm every morning I wake up, and it's still warm in there. It's just lovely, and I can spend a good chunk of the evening in there without any heat at all, just like on my laptop, and that's enough to keep the whole space totally heated. Super nice. That being said, I am heading back there soon, and I'm thankful that while I've been here, I've been able to hop on Skillshare and polish up my abilities with some basic Raspberry Pi programming. This is a Linux-based computer, and so I've been doing some basic Linux courses because Linux is not as smooth sailing as a lot of other operating systems. If you guys are used to Mac OS or Windows, Linux has got a lot of quirks, and there's a lot of a steep learning curve when you begin, and I'm glad that I've had Skillshare in my team to really help me sort that out. If you don't know, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of courses spanning 150 countries. For a low monthly price, you get unlimited access to all of their professionally created videos that are broken down by chapter with no fluff, no filler, no backstory, no ad breaks, just learning material from beginning to end, small, short, concise videos that allow you to progress chapter by chapter through this. And I have been progressing. The computer on the boat is officially set up. I have OpenHab, Plex, and a Pi-hole all running on this little Raspberry Pi 4. And so I'll be installing that as soon as I get back, and I'll make a dedicated video on some of the smart home features. And I'll be able to hang out with Honey some more instead of Chomsky. Chomsky's adorable, but he ain't no honey, that's for sure. Yeah, you're kind of dumb. You're real sweet, but you're kind of dumb, you know? Just a little. So I hope you had a great holiday. I know I did. And if you're looking to pick up some new skills in 2022 and see where it takes you while you're in lockdown, well, check out Skillshare. The link is in the description. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this episode, and thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
San Francisco nights felt so warm and bright to me.